Welcome to this short tutorial on using the macOS 10 operative system. Since I'm now making this tutorial from the UK, I thought it would have been a good idea to translate them into English. Here's the first one. This short tutorial is for those who decide to switch to a Mac computer being accustomed to using Windows. In fact, the differences between the two OS are less large than it might seem. I myself have been waiting for years before changing because I was not sure of being able to assimilate all those differences. I was not sure of being able to start from the very beginning to use a computer which does not use Windows. As you can see, this is the main screen that you will see after starting a Mac computer. Compared to Windows, there are some differences that you can see from the very first moment. For example, on the bottom of the screen we have the dock, which contains all the programs and applications that we use most often. The dock allows us to have access to one of those programs with a single click. Unlike Windows, as you can see, the control buttons in a Windows are not in the upper right corner, but they are in the upper left corner. We have a red button, one yellow and one green. The green button allows you to resize our windows. So if I press it, something like this is going to happen. If I press the same button again, the window will return to its previous size. This size depends on what you have previously set. In fact, if you change the size of the window, press the green button to return to full screen, and then press it once again to make it smaller, you see that the window will return to the size that you had previously set. The yellow button is to minimize your window, but the window itself does not end in the menu bar as happens in Windows, but it's inserted into the dock, like this. This window will be obviously reopened with a simple click, in a very easy way. To close a window, we have the red button. Unlike what happens in Windows, pressing the red button does not close the program, but only the window. The program will still be active in the background. You can verify this by looking at its icon in the dock. It will have a white spot below to indicate that the program is still active. To permanently close a program, there are two main ways. With the first way, you have to access to the menu of the program itself in the menu bar at the top of the screen. From this menu, you choose Quit. In this case, I go to iTunes menu and choose Exit from iTunes. In the second way, you need to go to its dock icon, press the right mouse button and then select Quit from the menu. This could be quicker and easier. Regarding the dock, you must know that you can customize many options. So you can add or remove those programs or applications that you use more frequently. To remove a program from the dock, you have to click its icon, hold it, and drag it to anywhere else on the desktop. When you release it, the program is deleted. Of course, it's only removed from the dock, not from the computer itself. To add a program to the dock or to restore a program that you had previously removed, you'll just have to go to the application folder. So go to the menu Go, Application, select its icon, and while still holding down the mouse, drag it back into the dock itself. you see that the application at the edge of the selected point will move to make room for the new icon, and that's it. It's really easy. We talked about the fact that the menu bar, unlike Windows, is located at the top of the screen. This bar does not have fixed options, with the exception of the Apple menu. The other options visible change according to the program selected. If I open a program, in this case Burn, you can see that the option changed. There is not the Finder menu anymore, but the Burn one. So this is the menu of Burn, with all the options that you can select within Burn, depending on your needs, of course. But just click at any point outside the window of Burn, and therefore into the system, and then you return immediately to the main menu of the Finder. If you open several programs, such as iTunes and Burn, for example, you see that if you click in the window of iTunes, the iTunes menu will appear on the menu bar. But if I click on the window of the Burn program, then I will have the menu of Burn in the very same menu bar. Clicking outside of both windows on your desktop, you will again have the menu of the Finder. The Finder is the equivalent, in a certain way, of the computer panel in Windows. When you open a Finder window, you have access to the entire contents of your hard disk. You have an overview of your entire computer, application, utilities, desktop, and so on, including, of course, all the external devices which are connected to the Macintosh computer. In this case, an external hard drive and a DVD. To disconnect one of these devices, you can simply click here. What I wanted to show you is how you can easily customize your Mac. By clicking on the Apple menu and then in the System Preferences, you will get what is the equivalent of the control panel in Windows. Here you have all the information that you want. For example, the dock. Here you can manage the size of the dock, smaller or larger. It depends essentially on the amount of items that you want to insert into the dock itself. You can decide whether to display it at the bottom of the screen, or to the right, or to the left. But since to the right or left there are often other icons, usually the dock remains in the bottom of the screen itself. You can decide whether to activate the animation of the icons or not. You can select the display of the white spot of the open application. You can select the magnification of the icon themselves. This can be useful, for example, if there are many icons in the dock and the dock itself is very small. In this way, it's easier to click on the right program. But back to the general panel, we can see other options, for example, the desktop. Here you can change the screensaver and the background or wallpaper of your Mac. One thing that is different in a Mac computer compared to Windows is this. In Windows, when you want to select any change, you had to always select the button Apply. In a Mac, changes like them are almost always automatic. If you select a different wallpaper, for example, you do not have to confirm anything. The change is instantaneous. Other important elements are present in the General tab. You can change the appearance of buttons, menus and windows. We have usually the blue and the gray color. I usually prefer the blue. You can choose the color that appears when you select an object. Even here I usually leave the blue. You can decide the size of the icons in the sidebar. Everyone here selects the most suitable option to its sensitivity. CDs and DVDs. You can decide what your computer has to do by default when you insert a CD. You can open the Finder, open Disk Utilities. You can just ignore it. These are the usual options, but you can choose what to do on your computer when you insert a CD, a DVD, an audio CD, etc. This also depends on your personal preferences. Another thing that comes to my mind right now is this. Each device connected to a Mac computer has its own icon on the desktop, so this device will be accessible with a single click. You do not have to go through the control panel or computer resources as it happens with Windows. The whole thing is more immediate and easy. If you connect a USB device or an external hard drive or a CD and so on, the icon will automatically appear on your desktop. To disconnect a device, be careful. You can select the icon and simply drag it to the trash. The trash works just like in Windows, but also has the function of helping to unplug a device. Hard drives, USB devices, CD, all of them are disconnected in the very same way. There are many other differences in macOS X compared to Windows. Eventually I will do many other tutorials. For now I will stop here. A Mac is really easy and intuitive to use. You can believe me. Every fear is unjustified. After a few weeks I was already accustomed to its operation. I learned without any difficulty, and indeed Windows is not missed. For now, then, I will stop here. Thank you for watching and see you soon.